It's Sunday, which means it's Sunday Live Haul, and it's January
The
1st.
New Year.
I just say it that way.
Because
Did anybody else have like crazy fireworks last night? Like, I know there's always fireworks on New Year's Eve, but okay, like 4th of July, people that set off fireworks on Facebook. People set off fireworks with their family. There's always a debate about like how annoying it is, and blah blah blah. And there's fireworks stands everywhere. I don't know a single person who actually sets off fireworks on New Year's Eve. And yet last night, from when we got home, what about 7:30? There were fireworks going that entire time. And then probably the last like from like 11 and then after midnight, it was like a wall of fireworks.
Mhm.
Like not one
nonstop. Well, you have moved to the firework capital of the country.
Are you just making that up?
Las Vegas and New York City have the two largest New Year's Eve celebrations in the entire country. It's a huge destination for people to come here for New Year's Eve.
But these must have been like I can't imagine these were actual like displays. I think they were like
I don't know,
but it was seriously like
it was nonstop. It was nonstop. Thank God we were home with the dogs.
The only good part about it is I feel like the dogs, they kind of like at first they were kind of freaking out a little bit, and then they just kind of got over it because it was like a nonstop wall of sound.
Yeah.
And for the most part, not any humongous ones. It was just kind of this nonstop. It was weird.
It was weird. And what is today? Today,
our
Sunday Live Haul. Year-end review. We're going to do a year-end review, an overview of all of our gross numbers from all of the platforms. We did not do all of our net numbers. So you guys
were lazy. We didn't break it all down.
We do our net every week. We get into it with you guys everywhere. So you're just going to, it wasn't that we're lazy. It's just, I don't feel like doing my entire year-end booking accounting to do the show today.
Yeah. We didn't put that much work into it, but we are going to look at our numbers. But seriously, guys, for all of you who come here every week or occasionally, or maybe you're new, I'm Katie. This is Vikki, aka Victoria, when she wants to be taken very seriously, aka my wife. My wife. 2 weeks and 1 day we have been married. I just uploaded yesterday our actual wedding ceremony because we had a private ceremony at the Mom Museum here in Vegas. And then we had a reception at our house afterward. But we did have the ceremony videotaped, recorded,
filmed, however you call it now. I don't know.
Digitally recorded. And anyway, so that's up. I actually have the link down below. So if anyone hasn't seen it yet and wants to, it's not too long. Like the ceremony itself is like maybe 15 minutes, like that.
As opposed to our usual videos that are like anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours long. But yeah, you probably should have a box of tissues. I'm not going to lie. I warned everybody. Listen, you all know I cry. I cry at the drop of a hat. I cry all the time. I've cried on this channel. I don't know how many damn times.
A lot.
I've cried on stage. Do our remix, whatever.
I was crying.
I'm a crier.
Before the show started,
I was crying 5 minutes before the show started because I saw more photos from our wedding reception. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I pretty much started crying the second the officiant started talking. So yeah, it was a bit.
It was bad, but overall, I mean, listen, everybody knows, like, anytime you have any kind of event, and especially something that's like so personal, like a wedding, things are going to go wrong, blah blah blah. I will say, the day itself was amazing from beginning to end. I don't feel like we were like 2 minutes late to where we needed to be, which she was freaking out a little bit about. And we were like, whatever, it's gonna be fine. And the reality is we get there and then we wait. But everything went smoothly. It was all wonderful. The reception was amazing.
We were surrounded by most of our favorite people in the entire world. There were many people that weren't able to attend due to logistics, and a couple people that got real sick right before and couldn't get on planes. But we had so many amazing friends and family and chosen family and people that used to be stranger friends. I looked around the room at one point, at room and outside. We had 80 people come to our reception plus. And I looked around the room and I looked at how many of those people we met through reselling, how many of those people became our friends and our family and people that we wanted there on the most important day of our lives. There are people that we met through eBay Open, through selling on eBay, through YouTube. It was astounding. It was a much larger percentage than probably any other a group of people that came
those
together.
Are the people that we spend a lot of our time with now.
It's true.
Yeah, our community.
Our community is, and the majority of our community is made up of some of our closest friends. So it was really nice and extremely touching that so many of you guys wanted to come and flew and drove to come.
Well, it was funny because we had created rather than do like the traditional like sending out invitations, we weren't doing an actual wedding. We're just doing the reception. We just decided we'll make a Facebook event, and we had people RSVPing, and what's funny is we planned for 75 people because we had catering and stuff. She was like kind of freaking out a few weeks beforehand, like trying to get the hard numbers down. And I'm like, listen, we've already decided it's for 75. If it's enough food, it's enough food. If it's not, it's not.
And there was plenty of food
because we did have a lot of people like the last week or two who had to bow out for different reasons. And so of course, I don't know if you know this one over here, but she was having, freaking out, thinking like, oh, there's only going to be like 40 people there. We ended up having like well over 80 people, which I don't even know how it's possible. It just shows you that people don't know RSVPing. But again, it didn't matter because I told her, I'm like, it really doesn't matter. Like, don't let this be, we're doing it in our home. It's not like it really matters. We're not doing it at a venue.
Right. And I was a little bit concerned that we weren't going to be able to fit everybody, but honestly, we could have fit 20 or 30 more people.
And it was really, it was like the coldest night of the year. It was freezing outside. If it had been more mild weather,
like it has been the last 2 weeks,
except
for that night,
and more people would have been comfortable hanging out outside. Honestly, we realized with our house, I mean, we could have 150 people if the backyard was more.
Yeah, with the way that we set everything up and removed some of the furniture, it actually worked perfectly.
So everything went really well. Seriously, it was like flawless. There were a couple of hiccups like afterwards, like the professional photos that were taken at the actual wedding were pretty disappointing.
They're pretty terrible.
Yeah. So we have some people working on trying to fix it up a little bit to make them a little better. So that was pretty disappointing. But you know what? It doesn't matter because the day of it was
perfect. It was perfect. The ceremony was perfect. Everything was amazing. I have to give again a special thank you to Danica.
Yes.
Danica drove out here a few days. Lady Luck drove out here a few days. Flew out here. She shipped everything under the sun to poor Crystal and Angel's house. But she flew out here a few days before the event because she had contacted me when I was looking for a makeup artist. Somebody would come to the house and do my makeup and my daughter's makeup and stuff like that. And she's like, that's what I used to do, right? And I had totally forgotten that was what she specialized in. She used to have a salon, and she was planning on attending as an attendee. She's like, let me do your makeup. She's like,
Yep.
So she did. She came and she did my makeup, my daughter's.
Well, no.
Katie's.
Not only that, the day before the wedding.
I didn't get there yet.
Well, but you're doing it in the wrong order. She says, I'm going to do your makeup. But then she was like, and I'm coming to give you guys facial. So she even like had a freaking massage table to Crystal and Angel's house. So full on massage table, like in our bathroom, did facials on both of us,
like 2-hour facials, and then and like she came, she was helping us with the setup, she did our makeup, I have to say, and then she's like, you guys don't even know me, she is, you don't even know me, we're not even like real friends yet.
Is that your accent?
My southern accent. And I'm like, Danica, we do know you. Like, you give, your heart is on your sleeve. And Katie and I are both so grateful that we met you and that we are friends, real friends. And you made our week so much better and the day so much better. So we just want to say we appreciate you. And not only that, she came and set up, her and Angel and Crystal created a whole thing where they set up a whole art installation in the backyard. An art installation. They had a little crescent moon and a bench that was black and white and for photographs.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was so thoughtful and so intentional. And yeah, you guys that came and helped, we love you. It was awesome.
Absolutely. So yeah, so now you're married.
We're married.
How do you feel about that?
I'm trapped.
Wait, this was your idea.
This is a 50-50 state. I'm screwed.
This was your idea. What am I going to get? Anyway, yeah. So the last few weeks have been, and then we usually have a big open house at our house on Christmas Eve. But when we decided to get married, we just basically moved that back a week, and that was our reception. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have anything to do for Christmas, and so I was like, well, let's just have like a mini, because we want to go to Italy for our honeymoon. It's probably not going to happen until 2024.
We just have too many commitments in this next
year. So we ended up going to our local favorite casino, Red Rock, and we stayed the night there, Christmas Eve and Christmas night. And that was really nice.
They gave us a really nice fancy suite. They comped a fancy suite for 2 nights, and we had a comp at one of the really nice restaurants there for Christmas Eve meal.
Waiting for us.
They had chocolate covered strawberries and champagne.
It was fun.
It was fancy.
It was a lot of fun. So, it was fancy. So it felt like we got to have kind of like a little honeymoon.
We had a little mini moon. Yep.
Anyway,
so like it's been a year, guys, right? And I think that, I'm not going to get into all the recap, because we do a show at least every other week, maybe. But business wise, I think it's been tough for a lot of people, ourselves included, and we're going to go over that and talk about some of that with our real numbers. But also, I know that this year in particular has been very difficult for a lot of people with health reasons, for losses of people and things in their lives. So I realized that, hey, Happy New Year is not always what you want to hear or what you need to hear. The reality is it's not always happy for everybody, and the holidays can be difficult for a lot of people, myself included. So for me, this year, I have to say, is probably one of the best holidays I can remember for obvious reasons.
But bittersweet.
Yeah.
I feel like, it was, I don't know. It was a good holiday. We won't get to all the stuff, but it's the month of December has been great, and there's been moments that have been really sad, and we've got like multiple people close to us who are going through a really hard time, I don't know. But I do want to say later this week, guys, we're going to do like our first premiere. You know how like you do like a pre-recorded video when you have a premiere.
Any other YouTuber you watch does this. We just don't.
Because we hardly ever do pre-record stuff. We are going to do a special video this week. It's probably going to be Thursday, maybe Friday. It should be Thursday, Friday, but obviously it'll have to be scheduled. So you'll see, we'll post it in the group. And if you make sure that you do follow us and get notifications from us, you see when that gets posted. But just stay tuned. We're going to be doing a special video. It should be fun. And we won't tell you anything that it's going to be about, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be it's definitely going to be a first for us. I think, you'll laugh, you'll cry, all the things.
I laughed, I cried. It was better than Cats. No.
I was going to say, you haven't even watched it. It hasn't been created yet. So be on the lookout for that towards the end of the week. And that's just like a little teaser. I don't know what else.
No, that's it. It's going to be, that's it.
That's it.
Look for it. It's going to be a good one. It won't be a very long video. It will be pre-recorded, and it will drop as a premiere. And it's important to both of us, and I think you'll enjoy it.
All right. Do we want to go into, so our normal show that we do, we break it into 3 parts. The first part, we usually look back at our numbers for the last week. We're not going to do that. Truth be told, my last week's been terrible. It's like the normal holiday
terrible,
but
it has been. It's been.
I had some good sales like Christmas and the day after Christmas, which is pretty typical. But I feel like the rest of the week it's just completely dropped off. Like I have nothing to ship for Etsy so far for this weekend. I think your Etsy was doing all right. Whatever. We're not going to look at our last week. Instead, we're going to look at our numbers for the entire 2022 with all of our. We're basically just going to look at all of our revenue coming in, gross revenue. Broken down by all the different platforms and number of items sold. And that's pretty much it. So let me go ahead and share the screen. And in the middle, we're still going to do the normal middle part of our show, which is looking at our sales highlights.
We went back a month.
I went back just to the last time we did a show, which was, I think, December 11th. So about a month. And then, of course, we're going to do a haul. We do have stuff that we picked up in the last few weeks that we're going to be sharing with you. But let's go ahead and look at our numbers. I just put them all on one screen, side by side, so you can see it.
Well, that's pretty good. I didn't know what yours was going to look like, but like, for me, I'm disappointed in my numbers personally this year. However, if you look at it, the fact that we do run 2 separate businesses under one roof, and you show that our combined gross income is over $300,000 for this year, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. And again, guys, we didn't put any of our costs or any of that stuff. We do that stuff weekly. And you're never going to get the full picture anyway. So we're just kind of looking at the overall.
Right. You all know what your platform costs are. The reality is that my cost of goods is generally 10% of my of my sales prices. So if you look at it that way, cost of goods for me about 10%. But I have 2 employees now, 2 people that work part-time for me. That's about $300 a week.
Yeah.
Between the 2, sometimes
and
a little bit
usually
less.
Those costs you don't even have.
I don't talk about them weekly. It's not that people, but it's it's about $300 a week between the 2 combined. Sometimes a little bit less, 200 to 300 a week. And what the second person I actually just added a couple of months ago. But so yeah, I mean, it gives you a general idea of the number of items.
This year you beat me with Etsy. You did over 21, and I did. Yeah, you're like about a little over 1,000 more than me. I will say, I know for both of us, I know my eBay dropped at least 20,000 from last year.
My eBay is down. My eBay is down 30,000, and the costs on eBay have increased.
Yeah.
So your overall costs on eBay, when you talk about, your promoted listing fee, now the international sales conversion fee, which really pisses me off that we're paying for that. We didn't always do that before, especially if they had it shipped to a US address. Now it doesn't matter what address the item's going to. I do sell a lot internationally. So a lot of times people are using freight forwarding systems, and I'm still getting charged that conversion fee. So that's another fee that's kind of pissing me off. So realistically, everybody's like, oh, eBay's fees are like 12, 13%. No, they're not. eBay's fees are as high as Poshmark's fees. They're 20%. Look at it overall. Once you add everything together. Once you're adding your conversion fees, your processing fee, any promoted listing fees you use, and your store fees spread out or whatever, it's about 20%. So anybody that says Poshmark is so much higher, well, Poshmark is a higher flat fee. It's a lot easier to look at it that way than the nickel and diming prospect.
So, I have like more items than ever. I have better items than ever. And I just think about like, I beat this number my first year doing eBay. So I don't know what the next year is going to look like. I really don't know.
Yeah. But I have no more Thrilling, right? No more Depop. So Thrilling went away. Depop was not worth my time. Whatnot is still not worth my time. So I'm not doing Whatnot. I may go back and do another show or two, whatever, at some point. But honestly, for me, it doesn't work. Maybe it will at some point, but right now it's not worth my time. Facebook Marketplace, I don't even list anything there anymore. But I did go full-time back on Mercari. So over the last couple of months, 2,800 of that was in the last 3 months on Mercari. So there's that.
See, so Teresa says, Amazon's worse. Here's the multiple streams of income. And that's the reality is a few years back, I would have only been showing you eBay numbers. And now it's like, look at this huge list of like all these different streams of revenue. And that's really like how you have to do it and to make it work anymore. And like my Whatnot, I did over $16,000 on Whatnot. And really, I only did it for like about 4 months. But it's like my prices were so much lower on there. You can see that's 807 items. And it's like, if you don't have a source for high volume, low cost stuff, it's like I can't put in a ton of time on that platform. And a lot of my bigger sales days were early on. And then as I went on doing it, my shows were bringing in less and less and less. But you can see all these numbers across here. And one of the things, I didn't tell Vikki this before we started the show, I went and looked at our numbers from last year. You actually have your number overall is higher than last year by like literally $1,000. So, however, it's because you have so much
more diversification.
Yes, exactly. So it's like we're really having to hustle more
for the same amount of money.
Now, I will say this last year, we've talked about this before, that we've not put in as much time. We had so many other things that were going on.
Right. I mean,
and
between
so
the remix,
make some changes, I think, this year about how we're approaching our businesses.
Between the remix and our wedding and the surgery time that I took, plus going to camp. So those are, things that take me away from my business when in general, and 2 of those things were just me, the surgery, obviously. But it did help, it did hinder Katy too, because she was shipping for both of us while I was recovering. So, I mean, those things will not be there this year. I mean, the remix, obviously.
But like next month, February, you're going to be gone like 20 days out of the month. Because we're both going on a cruise, and we're going to be gone for like 10 days. The cruise itself is like 6 or 7 days, but we're going to be gone for like 10 days. And then you're also going back to the East Coast. But when I looked at my numbers from last year, I was at like 138 last year. So I did go down a little bit, but not a ton. And then a lot of that has to do with Whatnot. And so, and then this year, like I'm not going to have Thrilling. So it's like, I got to figure out like how how am I going to bring those numbers up? And I think a lot
and
of
you also haven't done a sale on Whatnot in 3 months. So
right, but the last few sales I did on Whatnot, I brought in like maybe $100. So it's like, is that time really valuable, or is it really worthwhile?
Right.
So
yeah, I'm adding Grailed this year personally. So I'm hoping that Grailed will make up for the loss of Thrilling and Depop plus some. I expect to try to do 10,000 or more on Grailed if I'm going to be adding it. I hope it to be a $10,000 platform. I do think Mercari will be a $10,000 platform for me this coming year.
You actually love
because I am paying a cross lister. So I'm paying a cross lister that is making sure that my items are on every platform that they need to be on. That was the one thing that for me, I hadn't listed anything new on Mercari from last October until this October.
Ooh.
So I went an entire year without putting anything new on Mercari. So we'll see what happens. I think you bring it up. I think Mercari should come up, and God willing, eBay will come up with putting more money into it or putting more time into it. And Poshmark, I think Poshmark can do better. I was doing great coming out of the gate. I started out excellent on Poshmark. I actually did better on Poshmark last year than I did this year. I came by like $2,000, not a ton, but I started out doing excellent on Poshmark, and then when they changed that whole search algorithm thing, that actually worked well for me for some reason, and I was killing it during that time when everybody was saying everything went dead.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they started the lives, I went dead. So
you're going to be adding Grail. You're be getting more stuff cross-posted. Another thing I think you're going to be doing is more like you're going this month. You're going to be going back to Colorado just for a few days.
I'll be there in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Without me, you're going to go because I just am not ready to do a big buying trip. But she's going to go and go get a bunch of clothes, hopefully. Probably be most of what you pick up. So to go hang out with.
I'm gonna go hang out with
Liz.
I have to contact Kristen, Rural Squirrel. Haven't contacted her yet.
Yeah, so you're going to be doing that. One of the things I'm thinking about trying, I need to talk to Jesse at Yesterday's Fit. He's really wanting me to take part in his new thing he's doing at his brick and mortar store, which is kind of like he's setting it up kind of like a co-op where, I could bring in some of my stuff to sell in the store. So I'm going to talk to him a little bit more about like the details.
But since you source most of your stuff from him, how's that work?
Because I have old inventory.
Oh, okay.
All right. I have old inventory that I could sell for in store higher prices than what I could get on say Whatnot, and I don't have to put in the time. So let me finish. So I think I'm gonna think about that because I do have a lot of stuff that I've had for well over a year, and you know what? If I can get rid of move some of that stuff out, yes, of course I'm not going to source stuff from him and then put it on his floor. That would be ridiculous.
That's what I was saying.
No, but I have a lot of really really good stuff that just hasn't moved. So I'm curious about trying that out and seeing how it goes.
All right, that makes sense. Miss Florida Sunshine said, I've had some consistent sales on Bonanza and Trugether. Now, I've never used Trugether, but I was on Bonanza for well over 10 years. I actually just got rid of Bonanza at some point last year. But I was there for like 10 years. And in that 10 years, I don't think I did $10,000. So to be honest with you, even that was becoming a little bit of a hassle. Even I didn't pay anything to be on there. It was absolutely very easy. But it was just one more platform that I needed to kind of keep up with. And they used to pull down a lot of items, which was very odd for me, certain brands or whatever, that it was just became a pain in the ass. So I kind of just laughed at the last one. I was like, oh, forget it.
Well, so anyway, so those are our numbers for the year. I think we both did better than we thought we did.
I just been, because what it was is I just focused on eBay was in the red all year for me.
So I feel like we did better than we thought we did as compared to last year. But it doesn't make me necessarily feel a whole lot better because I do see that I'm not going to have thrilling, probably not going to be doing a whole lot of Whatnot. And so I really need to figure out I don't need to figure it out. I need to be more consistent overall in getting stuff listed and bringing in new stuff. There was a lot of time that wasn't put into that last year. So
for both of us,
I think that's where it's kind of at for me.
For both of us, there's a lot of things that this particular year coming forward, I want to focus more, but I also have two extra trips this year that I'm on the fence about, one of them at least. But I have camp. This year was going to be my last year at camp. And we changed campgrounds this year, going forward. So I'm And the time, then the week has changed because we had to change locations. So after 36 years. So I'm on the fence whether I'm going to be able to go back, although I did promise the kids that I would come back this year. So that's the part of me. I don't want to break that promise. But it's when I first started volunteering at camp, I didn't take trips. I didn't take sourcing trips. I didn't have vacations. I went home to Rhode Island once a year, and I would go to camp, and I would go to my World Burn conference and do the burn makeup.
You didn't have the remix.
And I didn't have the remix. So there's like so many more things that have been to my plate since I started going to camp almost 10 years ago. And I just don't know that I'll be able to fit it into my world right now. But I will continue to do the burn conference because this is our first year back since 2019, and that is going to be in October. It's right before the remix.
Right before the remix.
But that's this year. It's in Baltimore, which I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's we got to figure it out. Got to juggle things.
Yep. All right. You want to look at our sales highlights for the last few weeks? What do you think? Let me bring this back up.
26 minutes. 26 minutes in.
Why are you paying attention to time?
I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
So I grabbed this at the bins. So this is something I wanted to show. I actually sold 2 or 3 real fur and faux fur vests in that same week. Faux fur is in. Real fur is in. Now I'm not don't get all PETA on my back. These things are vintage. I didn't kill them. I would much prefer recycling and repurposing things from, that's already been done. I'm not going to perpetuate you, but this has already been done and it's 30 years old. So, picked it up at the bins, probably paid $2 or $3 for it. And it sold for the price you see there, $97 plus shipping. Nice. And it looks like something like, I wouldn't wear it, but it looks like something very Mad Max to me. I almost put that in the title. Industrial kind of. It's pretty cool.
Cool, man. All right. First one up for me. As you'll see in my haul, I recently got some cool BMX t-shirts, and this is the first one that sold, and I think it's pretty appropriately awesome. Big doubles, no trouble.
Oh, jeez. That's so corny.
It says RNC on the front. I don't know what RNC stands for. I wasn't able to find it, but big doubles, no trouble. I had a few people trying to make too low of offers, and then somebody offered 75, and I'm like, you know what? I'll take 75. This is just, I'll be showing you my haul, the other BMX t-shirts I got, but this was the first to sell within a couple of days after listing it. And I mean, come on, dude, that's rad. What do you think?
I think that I'm going to decline my $36 offer on my item that's on sale for $70.
Yeah. All right, go for it. Anyway, I paid like $10 for this. Got it from yesterday's fits, and I'll tell you more about my BMX haul when we get to the haul section of the show. Go ahead.
So this is not A, not great photos, B, not a great item, but I wanted to show this because I almost threw this away. So I picked this up in the box. Those of you that know, it's Mr. Christmas, Santa's Marching Band. I picked this up in the bins, didn't know if it worked, brought it home because it was from the bins. And I was like, forget it. I paid probably $10 because it is by weight. And this is, probably, I don't know, 5-6 pounds. But I listed it, and I listed it free shipping because I couldn't adjust my shipping policy because business policies were screwed up that week. But it sold to California. So it cost me like $15 in shipping. There was some damage to this. This sells very, very well. So if you get one that's working without any damage, I could have gotten $200 for this. Or close to, at least $150 plus shipping, whatever. So I almost threw it away because it was damaged. But because it worked, I was like, well, let me just throw it up there and see. So overall, I still probably made $70 profit on it.
Nice. All right. Next up for me is this Louisiana Ice Gators t-shirt. I love anything hockey as far as streetwear goes. I feel like NFL and NBA get all the action. This is a minor league hockey team that's no longer around, the Louisiana Ice Gators, and this was their inaugural season. I think they were only around for a few years or so. So stuff like this I always want to pick up. Plus it's kind of a cool sort of an all over print t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
You shut your mouth. But I got this yesterday. But this one I paid like $30 for, but it sold within a couple of days for $80. I sold it for $80. So it was a pretty quick flip, a quick $50 for me. And yeah, it's awesome. Okay, come on, it's the ice skaters.
It's something. That's like hideous, man.
Go ahead.
This is hideous too. So in most cases, I'm going to say Tommy Hilfiger is a brand that I do not pick up, would not pick up. It was super popular a while ago in streetwear. It has absolutely jumped the shark. I don't care if stuff says Tommy all across it with a flag. Don't pick it up unless you get it for free. Maybe you can sell it for $25. However, this is one. This was a big. It was a big size. It was a 3X. This is women's. 3X women's coat. It is down filled, not faux down filled. And I picked this up in Florida, of all places, from Casey's garage.
There you go.
Casey's Death Pile. When I shopped Casey's Death Pile at his house back in April or May. And I don't remember what it cost me, but basically he way undercharged me for a lot of his stuff. So I'm going to say maybe $5. It sold for the price you see there, $112 plus shipping. It's just a big, I guess, and I think it went to like, I don't remember where it went, but it went somewhere cold. I want to say we might have even gone to Alaska.
I got that puppy in a 15 by 12 bag, I think.
I think
I was able to squish it all down. Erin wants to know what was damaged on the Mr. Christmas.
It was missing a couple of the little balls that go on the end of the springs. So when they twist and they hit the bell, they hit it with the gong. I think of the Gong Show, right? It's like the hammer, the mallet, the thing that it hit. Anyway, it was missing the little round thing at the end, so they weren't hitting the bells. So what I put in the description was that the person could replace it with a couple of erasers if they wanted to, and that would work perfectly. Like an eraser from a pencil, glue that on the end, and it actually would have kept working fine. I didn't want to do that in case someone wanted to be all original. So it still worked. Yes, my description, no balls.
Well, and it's funny because when you were saying that, I was sitting here thinking in my head, balls. And I thought, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to make the choice. I'm a new woman. I'm married now. Okay, I have to make better choices. But then Dana and Liz
fulfilled it for you
to back me up. All right,
you guys are ridiculous.
Next up, this one is one of my very few sales this weekend. The Cinemax.
This weekend sales are dead.
Oh yeah. The Cinemax HBO cable, whatever jacket.
I have a Cinemax one.
There you go.
In my closet for you downstairs.
This one sold for $97.99. So the price you see there, I paid like maybe $15 for it. So.
Nice.
Next up.
This is yet another blanket. I keep saying, do not sleep on the blankets. I hope people are listening to me. This was a bins pickup. So I paid maybe $5 for it at the bins. I took an offer for it for $150, which I think is a quite reasonable offer. It was on sale for I listed it for $175 and it hadn't even gone on sale. And someone offered $150 within a few. I mean, I had lots of offers, but within a few days it sold for the $150, and it was small. So I correct myself. It was not small. It was going to California. So even though I charge a smaller dollar amount, but because it was going to California, I think it still only cost me like $10 to ship it next door. So
nice. All right. Next up, I have this Braveheart t-shirt. I got this in Colorado. Speaking of Allison, I got this in Colorado, this Braveheart t-shirt, and this one actually went for the price you see there, $139.99. I got this, like I said, I bought this from the guy's basement in Colorado. I think I paid like $40 for it. And it sold for $140, and it went internationally. I can't remember what country it went to, but they paid shipping, so they definitely made a little more money there. But I think that was a pretty good flip. This was one of the pieces I was pretty excited about in Colorado. What's going on?
I'm laughing at Liz saying the whole Colorado drinking game is off the table today. I wonder if Liz might be a little hungover from last night. I don't know.
She actually made it to midnight though. I
know.
All right.
These were a bins buy. So this is a brand you definitely need to keep your eye out for. It's Daner. I think it's Daner is what it said. It's like my Rhode Island self saying Dana's name, Daner. Dehner. These are military issue um, boots, and they're super well made. They've been making them for a very long time. These were not specifically very vintage or vintage at all. But if you scroll down to my listing a little bit, there is a photograph that I put of the type of boot making these boots for a very long time, obviously. So this is from like the 30s or 40s. It's a style of boot. So I paid about $5 at the bins for these, and they sold for $299.
What?
I had them listed just for a couple of months too, and they're not a huge size. They're a men's size 10. And the thing about these are bench made. They're usually custom made. So you have to guesstimate the size. You've got to get in there with some measuring tape and go get some size charts and figure it out. Now, these were delivered 3 weeks ago. I'm going to knock on something that they were the right size as described. We kind of wung it, but yeah, they're pretty cool.
It's very nice. All right. I think I mentioned the last show we did on the 11th because that day I sold one of these albums. But I'm going to do a two for here. I'm going to say it again. I was bored. I was out of stuff. I needed to go buy some more stuff to the list. And I thought I'd go and look at the solds for movie soundtracks on vinyl from highest to lowest. This is a way that, if there's something that you have, you can go and like check it out and see if there's anything you actually have in your possession that can sell for good money. And so there were just two that came up where I was like, oh, I would definitely sell these. I paid $30 for this one and the other one I'm going to show you. And so I bought these back in 2019, I think, when they were released. And I paid $30 for this one since it's actually used. I had opened it and played it, but I think I bought like two of them because I think I already sold the other one. Like originally, I probably sold it for a little bit more than what I paid, enough to cover both of the price of both copies. Mm-hmm. But when I saw I could sell it for big money, I'm like, heck yeah. So I sold it for the price you see there, $140. I paid $30 and it's on my shelf for a couple of years and sold it for $140. And then the other one, this is the one I think I had mentioned last time because it had just sold like the morning of our show. Mm-hmm. This one I took an offer for $170. And so again, I paid $30 for this and sold it for $170. So sometimes you just gotta like go and look at what you got around your house, and maybe you got something to make a little bit of extra money for. There you go. Story. Next up for you.
This one I've had for quite a while. So this is very Almost Famous Penny Lane vibes to me. I wish it fit me. If it wasn't a small, I may have kept it. This is a Mongolian lamb. Vintage, probably 60s, maybe early 70s, fits very well with the whole Penny Lane look in general. I remember I paid $10 for this because I remember finding it and going, really? She only wants $10? And it was at this big, huge outside sale that I went to that had all this women that used to do costume and clothing for plays and theater out here in Vegas. We went together. And anyway,
it was movies and stuff too.
It was extras and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I paid $10 as the bottom line. I've had it for over a year.
Yep.
But it's a gorgeous coat. It sold for $299.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, I have this bum hoodie. I think I had mentioned I had like two different pieces in my inventory that were bum. I think the other one was just a bum sweatshirt. And I had sold that sweatshirt for like $90. And then somebody had like,
it was just the last show.
I don't know. But then like a day later, somebody made an offer on this for like $20. And I'm like, you're ridiculous. I just ignored it. Whatever. Anyway, and then it sold for the price there, $89.99, and I paid maybe $15 for this sweatshirt. But I don't know. The bum stuff generally doesn't move as fast or go for as much as some of the other streetwear stuff, but I still grab it because to me it's like nostalgic because I grew up during the time when my sister and her friends especially wore everything bum.
I have a picture of my best friend Jason, who was here for our wedding, not my wedding, our wedding. My best friend Jason, you're welcome. I have a picture of my best friend Jason wearing one of these in purple, like when we were in high school. He was the shit. He thought he was so cool. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up for you.
I just wanted to show this because it's a flippin' towel, guys. The towel sold for $89.95 plus international shipping. This is a towel that I picked up from Jesse at yesterday's fits. Liz actually has footage of me buying a stack of towels from Jesse because it looked like a drug deal because she was filming it from the top of a staircase and we were in an alley and it looked like we were exchanging. I was giving him cash for a bunch of towels. It looked like it was a black market drug deal. Anyway, so I paid, I think, $40 for like 7 or 8 towels. Yeah. This being one of them, and I think I maybe have one left, maybe 2 left. $89.95 for a towel.
Not for a towel.
For a towel.
Nice.
Turtle Bug, thank you very much. Yeah, for anybody that's wanting to view our wedding video, again, we just wanted to put it out there because I know there are so many of you guys that have been supporting us from day one that we wanted to share it with you in case you wanted to see, because it was private and we weren't going to like live stream it or anything like that. But we did film it so that we could share it. It's there. It's like 15 minutes long. I ugly cried through most of it.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
All right. Next up, we're going bowling today. Too bad I already sold this.
We are.
Anyway, I think this is a Torgum buy, so I probably paid like $10 for it.
That's a long time ago. It's a Torgum buy.
I know. But this all over print bowling shirt. I think it's awesome. I love it. And it's for the price you see there, $89.99, but I would pay like $10 for it. But what a cool shirt, man. Too bad I can't wear it today because we're gonna go bowling.
You know who would like that too?
Deb. True.
Deb likes to bowl. Deb used to be a professional bowler.
True.
Or league bowler.
I don't think she was a professional bowler.
Semi-professional. She was like a
competitive bowler.
Competitive bowler. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Next up for you.
That's cute. This is really cute. I've had this for quite a bit. I actually may have gotten this in an estate clean out from St. George. I think that's where this one came from. If so, my cost of goods is $1. And I've had it for about 1.5 years. And it sold for the price you see there, $129.95. The girl that bought it asked me a couple of detailed questions about specific measurements, which I don't always love, right? Who likes those, right? Yeah. However, the type of question she was asking me, I could tell she was a serious buyer. And she was. As soon as I gave her the details, she said they totally were buying it. And she did. So she paid $129.95. It's a really cute dress. It's very basic for a 50s dress, but it was in beautiful condition and had no wear to it whatsoever. And it's a nice green color. Yeah, I would totally wear this if it fit me. Anyway, it's really nice. So yeah, sold for $129.95. Again, you're seeing that a lot of my items are long tail. I don't mind waiting a year, 1.5 years because I constantly have inventory moving. I understand that you will find a lot of YouTubers that will tell you that that is a bad business model. I don't think it's a bad business model. I think it's a different business model. As long as you're consistently making more money than you are spending, you are in the right direction. Figure out what works best for you.
Yep. All right. Next up for me is this New York City Ballet t-shirt. I always buy anything dance. I don't know if I showed another show. Like I sold that flamenco dress or flamenco t-shirt. Trash. Anyway, so
it's me.
So I always pick up t-shirts that have anything to do with it. Again, this is what I always say. If it's got like kind of a niche following, I think it's interesting because I think that something like this is not really something you can find everywhere. And so I will always grab something like this and price it up. And I actually didn't have this shirt for very long and sold it for $89.99, and I maybe paid $10 for it. This one I think I got at yesterday's fits. It was discount racks, but hi, it's Diane too.
Woo-hoo! I think Diane's been in a while. I thought I saw her name earlier. But we weren't paying attention. Quick response to Erin. Beautiful dress. About what modern size was it? Looks quite small. I think I had it listed as a small. I don't list by whatever the size is on a tag. Because I sell primarily vintage clothing, whatever it says on the tag is completely irrelevant. Completely. It has no bearing whatsoever on your listing title or your description in reality. Because it's completely arbitrary. So when I'm listing an item, I'm listing in the title what the current sizing is. And I'm not trying to figure out whether it's a 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever. I don't do even sizes. Extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, based off current modern size charts.
That's what I do.
And so that's what you're going to do. You're going to take the item, because people aren't searching by, I wear a vintage size 7 from 1965. Nobody does that. It's not possible. So when we know how much sizing varies even today, based on sizing that it could have been even 5 years ago, or between brands, let's talk about women's jeans, right? But so if it's a size small and it fits current measurements of a size small, or within that window, that's what I'm going to put. I'm going to put vintage 1950s size S women's dress, whatever. And then in the listing, even if it has a size tag on it, I will put, this is the brand if there's a tag. Tagged a vintage size 7 equates to size small today, and then all the listed measurements. So just so you know, like that's how
I do the measured size as well. So I might say it's size medium, but then in my description, it's going to say, slim vintage fit, tag says large, but measures like a medium. And then I tell them to go look at the actual measurements listing. So anyway, next
like everybody in the chat, with some new people popping in. Oh, we've got Gary and Susan and Patricia and Patty. Yeah, Jill has already been in here for a bit. Eastern, hello. So yeah, welcome in to our show. And I feel like I'm at the romper room. I see Patty. I see Susan.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this is something else that I just sold. This actually went back to Rhode Island to the Trinity Repertoire Company, which is where I saw many a play back east when I lived there. Anyway, it sold for $129.95. I'm not sure where I got this one, to be honest with you. It's either a bins purchase or, bins or another state. I honestly don't know. I can't remember.
It's like orange sherbet.
It's a peachy pink.
All right, next up, I have this Far Side t-shirt. Seriously, guys, every time I get a Far Side t-shirt, I list it high and it sells. It does not just sit around. So make sure you grab these. I mean, I think I paid like $10 for this one again, but I sold it for $90. I mean, I love me some Far Side, but it's crazy to me that people are spending this much money on a Far Side t-shirt. But I mean, seriously, every single time I put one up, I sell it for anywhere from $60 to $100. So
people love the Far Side.
And this is like the second time I've sold this exact one. So just silly. All right, next up for you. Ooh, pretty.
This is a really pretty dress. This is actually a dress that one of our viewers, Gabby Pisano, sent to me. And I know I showed it on the show. She'll occasionally has sent me things here and there to sell. I think things that she's found or what have you. But she's not a clothing seller so much. So she's like, here, I think you like this. And she shipped it to me with one other item. It did not sell for this price. It sold for $120. So my cost of goods on this is $0. It sold for $120, and the buyer also purchased a pattern, a clothing sewing pattern for $40. So it was combined $160 plus shipping, because this went to Canada. So it's a beautiful dress. It does scream Jody because it's really long, but it's very tiny. It's very, I mean, Jody is not a big person, don't get me wrong, but she's not she's tall. This would fit her lengthwise. It wouldn't fit shoulders. She's not a size small, but it's a very tiny dress, but it's beautiful. And I love vintage Tori Richard clothing in general. The more modern stuff, whatever. But the vintage, especially the dresses, are fantastic.
All right, next up,
I don't want to talk to you right
now. She's real mad at me. So
Vicky, annulment papers.
So Vicky goes to the bins and she'll grab stuff and give it to me. She has like 1 or 2 t-shirts, nothing like crazy. Just, it's usually something maybe I can sell for $20-$30. Well, she gave this sweatshirt to me. It's a Pro Weave sweatshirt. I think it was kind of like it wasn't actually like a reverse weave. It had the side panels. Oh no, it was reverse weave. Okay. I can't really see it.
It's reverse weave.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Anyway, so I just went ahead and listed it high, and it sold after maybe I had it up for like a week for $100. And when I told her, she was so mad, guys. She was so mad. And I'm like, listen, I gave you that jacket for my grandma that you sold for $1,000. You can give me $100 hoodie. So I paid $0.00 for this hoodie.
Keep going.
But I
keep going.
But I paid in abuse.
You've paid in abuse.
Yes, it's true. It's true. But yeah, it sold super fast. But it's nice sweater. So, yes.
This is one of the last of the heavy overcoat driving coats that I have from car coats from. This came from the Clothing Vault. This came from my acquisition of their remaining inventory with Perfectly's old company called the Clothing Vault. This was acquired in October of 2020. So I did get hundreds of pieces, and I probably am down to maybe the last 50 or so, maybe even not that many. And it sold for the price you see there, $153 and change. It was on sale. You can see it. When, I like that Etsy is showing you the sale prices when there is one. I don't run sales on Etsy very frequently, but I have a couple of times for different parts of the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, $153.96. And I do free shipping on Etsy because my prices are usually higher. So I think this one probably cost me a good $15 to go ship.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yep. All right, next. Hey, remember my creepy my creepy Jesus t-shirt?
Knock knock.
Look at him. He's just staring at you.
Knock knock.
He's just staring at you.
Listen, and
open the door. And
clarify this.
Come in.
You need to clarify this that all Jesus is not creepy. This particular depiction of
people
Jesus
not have eyes.
I mean,
I don't think I need to clarify.
You never know. Some people get offended by things you're going to say. I'm trying to.
Well, and that's their problem. He's just like, open the door. Knock knock.
Instead of like, here's Johnny, it's like, here's Jesus. Open the
door. Anyway, this one is nicely beat up, worn and faded. It's got some holes. It's just the graphic or the
words. What does it say? Open.
It says, "Open the door, I will come in."
Oh, it really did say
yes.
that. Oh, I thought you were. Oh,
no, that's what. Anyway, I got this on Whatnot, and I paid like $40 for it. But I sold it for the price you see there, $135.
It really is a creepy one.
So it was a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. But see, I knew this one was a winner. I knew
it's a creepy one.
I love it.
Not gonna lie.
I love it.
Creeptastic.
Right. Yep. Go ahead.
This was a Poshmark sale. So this was also a Clothing Vault jacket, and this sold. So this sold for the price you see here, $150.
Easy.
You know, real fur coats still sell. People are like, oh, do they sell? Do they sell? Do they sell? They do. Real fur does still sell. Again, I'm only selling vintage. It's already dead. I would much rather have somebody reuse, relove, and repurpose vintage than purchase new. So, yeah, sold for $150.
Liz, you know, here and there, I'll source and whatnot. The problem is there's so many shows, and it's such a time suck. And so I haven't been as much, although the last piece that I'm going to show you is something I did buy on Whatnot like a few weeks ago. So occasionally, I just can't. It's like anything else. Like I feel like, you know, it's like between like watching YouTube or watching Whatnot videos. It's like you can just like spend all your time doing it.
I try to pop in on some of my friends that do consistent shows on Whatnot. It's difficult. So a lot of people do them in the middle of the day. It's your work day. It's my work day, and I can't. It's like watching YouTube. It's really hard to pay attention and do that. And I like to be supportive, but I don't know how you people find all the time.
No, I would love to do more sourcing on there. It's just being able to find the ones that are gonna be worthwhile to watch and actually buy stuff on. But I did a few weeks back up into a show that Callie was doing on the Rally Roots Whatnot channel. It was just Callie, and she was doing band t-shirts, and this one came up, Susie and the Banshees, or she called them Sauxy and the Banshees. She's, I guess, just enough younger than me that she didn't know who Susie and the Banshees were. But that's fine. It's okay. Anyway, so I actually had some credit on there, and so I think I went to like $50 or something like that, but it actually cost me like $35. So I paid $35 for this t-shirt, and then I sold it for the price of there, $130. So I made some good money for it. But yeah, Dana says totally over it, except for one vintage seller I buy consistently from. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Anyway, so that's it for that. Let me pull this out and Scooby-Doo. I am. All right. Do you want to do a little haul?
Yeah,
what you got.
do a little haul.
You get some good stuff over there.
I do. So I've been sourcing, even though we haven't done much. I didn't go sourcing the entire week of our wedding because we had a house full of guests. We had Katie's sister and her best friend in and out, and my best friend was here, and my daughter was here, and then I had another friend from Ohio that was here a lot. And then Diane Lasange, who's in the chat, Diane and Trish were both in town with their families. So we're just busy. We were busy. We were hanging out. We weren't working.
I think work was definitely not that Monday because I wanted to pick up.
Yeah, I didn't even do that. Working was not even on the radar. So we did not work at all. But I will say in the last week or so, I've been to the BIM twice. And then Friday night, just the other day, Katie and I decided to go do a Friday night kind of like date night. We went to Deseret and we went to Savers, two places neither of us have been to in months and months and months. I don't source at thrift stores around here anymore. I just really don't. There are a lot of resellers in Vegas, which is wonderful. But I don't feel the need to drive to 6 or 7 stores to pick up 10 quality items anymore. And I don't knock anybody that's doing that. It's just not for me. I would much rather go to the bins for 2 hours twice a week and buy 200 items. It's just faster and better for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you getting in, because you were saying that you wanted to consistently go twice a week to the bins. And I think, because even on the days when you come back and you're like, it was okay, it's still like a freaking carload.
Yeah, it's still worth the time.
So, and you're not there for that long. All right, we got.
Okay, so let's see. Got some good stuff. Now, I'm going to start off with a bang, I've got to say. This is probably my favorite thing that I held back to show. This was sourced at the bins here in Vegas a few weeks ago, actually before Christmas. And when I sourced this, you're all going to say, that's a Jody outfit, because it is a Jody outfit. And Jody must be working, by the way, because she's not in the chat right now. And I'm sure she's working and making that money on the holidays. But this came from the bins. This is a vintage red and white chiffon dress. Very, very 60s, maybe even early 70s. It's got sheer sleeves and buttons up the front. And then there's a big, big bow. A belt that you can bow. And then these great accordion pleats. Now, I hand washed this because it was filthy. And I was very careful. I didn't want to all the pleats to fall out because they're awful and hard to put back in. So as this is drying, what did I find out? It's not a dress. It's pants.
And that's exactly what she said when she realized. I was standing right there. And she screamed in my face. I'm pretty sure some spittle got on me because she was so excited to loudly scream, "It's pants!
It's a freaking pantsuit! It's pants!" Oh my God. I love this so much. I wish it fucking fit me. Oh, I wish it fit me. Anyway, I'm listing it really high again because every time I find something like this that I love, I would wear the heck out of it. Yeah, isn't it fabulous, right? So I'm going to list this probably $300.
Do it.
That's one thing that I think would sell on Thrilling if Thrilling was still around. Okay. So I did happen to go and visit the Niche Lady's new store here. She has a thrift store. For those of you that know Danny or don't know Danny is the Niche Lady. And she happened to open like right before when we were in the middle of planning our wedding and everything. And I was like, I can't make it over there. It's 30 minutes across town. I'm like, I can't make it over there. And Mikey Bags of Money and Tiffany in Las Vegas and Sunny Las Vegas, they all have little booths inside of her store. It's like a co-op. So I finally popped in there and I was able to buy a couple of things. And one of the things I got was from Mikey and Sunny's booth within the store. And it was this ski jacket. I paid $14 for it. It's just a cool vintage ski jacket. I'll probably list it and sell it for about $75.
Nice.
It's just cool vintage, bright colors. Nothing special about the brand. It's just, whatever. It's just a cool 80s, 90s jacket. The other thing I bought, I really loved everything that Carrie Snyder, who works for Danny, Carrie had in her booth, but I have to say she had it priced at retail, which is totally fine. But everything she had in there was super nice and very curated and stuff that I love. I wish I had there was anything there. There was no room for me to like make any money on it. But I loved the stuff she had. Let's see. I also picked this up. This was $12.99, and this was from the main rack. So this would have been like stuff from the donated stuff. The color's not really doing it much justice, but this is a really pretty vintage dress as well, with a chiffon overlay and like a 3/4 bell sleeve. With this like all this embroidery on it. It's kind of like a salmon color. Salmon or melon.
Melon.
Melon. It's in great shape as well. And I don't know what I'm going to price this one at, but I'll probably put it around like the 129 range, and then, you know, take offers, probably like 75, 85. Let's see. These came from.
Oh, so I went to yesterday's Spitz, and Jesse, I was talking about how he's kind of doing this co-op thing, and he needed to free up some rack space. So he's like, hey, I really need to get I really need to clear out a bunch of stuff. So anything that's on that rack that you're even remotely interested in, he's like, I'll give you a really good deal on it. And so when I went through, I grabbed stuff that I normally wouldn't get. Like I got a bunch of sweaters. But then I also was grabbing stuff for Vikki because anything that I thought she might want to sell, I was like, oh, I'll grab it for it. Because a lot of the stuff I got for like really good prices. So that's what this stuff is.
Yep. So this is one of them. This great 80s purple and green, like kind of oversized, like dolman sleeve, oversized houndstooth. Yeah, that makes sense. Vintage sweater. This is cool. So this would be like, I'll sell it for like 50, 60 bucks.
The purple is much richer than it looks on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I will say that our camera is terrible. It's the walls. It's because the walls are such a bright color. They distort the rest of the colors here. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, Katie's office is too small for us to do the show in. And this is another one, like a turtleneck, oversized 80s. I love this. You can see like the ribbed black turtleneck. Women's sweaters. I love like these. Fuzzy. I actually might wear this one myself, honestly. I like it. Let's see. Where's
keep going, keep going.
More. Wait,
keep up the pace. Keep up the pace.
I got more sweaters. All right, picked this up Friday night at the Savers for $8.99.
I'm jealous of this one.
This is just a vintage Irish cable knit fisherman sweater. These sell very, very well. They're always hand knit. This one was made in Ireland. It's always hand knit in Ireland if it's a good one. So I'm gonna need a Colorado sweater.
It's just as if you wear that one, you'll be able to find you.
So I'll probably list this. I haven't looked to see if this brand is specifically great or not, but I'll probably list this in the $80 to $100 range.
Yeah, that's what I sold mine for.
This I wish I had found before Christmas, but it will still sell. It is a Christmas sweater. It's from the brand Tally Ho.
Tally Ho.
Tally Ho. Made in China, but this brand has had the same tags since like the 50s or 60s, so it's a little harder to date. I'm going based on style, probably 90s, early 2000s. It has slightly padded shoulders. This is the 12 Days of Christmas, embroidered all over it. Ridiculous. Little pro tip, any type of Christmas decor, vintage or otherwise, that is 12 Days of Christmas, whether it's a set of ornaments, wall hangings, I don't care what it is. 12 Days of Christmas is highly, highly collectible. Glassware, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't know why that specific thing about Christmas is as collectible as it is, but it is.
Cool, cool.
So I'm going to try to list that one. I don't know. I'll probably list it around 75. And if I have to hold on to it till next fall or winter, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I'll do just a couple more sweaters, or how do you want me to keep going?
Keep going, man. Show us what you got.
So this I paid up for a little bit. I paid $14.99. However, I think this is Pendleton. The last one I picked up was exactly like this.
Oh, yeah.
Minus the tag. And it was Pendleton because I was able to find it online. But this has a little print around the collar. It is gray. It is wool. And it's kind of a shawl. So
look at Jill. Look at Jill.
It's got like the full the wrap, and then you would tie it.
And the button doesn't say anything.
And this has the buttons. No, it doesn't say anything. I have to look it up a little bit more and see if I can find the style. But the last one I had was just like this. It was just red. Mm-hmm. And it has the fringe. scratchy wool, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I think it's Pendleton. My last one sold for $175. It was plain red. Let's see. This is just this I paid $5 for. Probably 90s Y2K as well. Ralph Lauren jeans, but super cute nautical. Red and navy blue stripe with the nautical navy buttons on the shoulders, boat neck top appropriately, and then it just has like Lauren jeans with the little embroidered crest and anchor on it. Cool. Yeah, you know what, Christy, I like the shawl. It's just it's scratchy. It's definitely Pendleton scratchy wool. So it's like I don't like the way that feels on my skin. So I wouldn't wear it. Let's see, what else do I have? Hold, please.
Keep it moving, lady.
I know.
We only got all day.
All right, this is it. That's all I got. I'm going to do this last little grouping, and then you can go. This I bought for $9.50 because it was 50% off on Friday at the Savers. So this is the top thing. This is just 90s little dress with a little jacket. This is the jacket. But those of you that have been selling for a long time, personally, I was selling furniture in the 90s. So I'm going to tell you, this was a super popular print for clothing, furniture, draperies, all that stuff. And like it's, I don't know, little monkeys in the trees. It's very like a Tommy Bahama vibe. And then this is the dress, which is just a basic maxi, like sheath dress.
Real quick, Turtle. Dana's cat, Eddie, put you in a 300-second timeout. It was an accident, so
you didn't do anything wrong. Sorry about that. Liz is, I think my dining room chairs were covered in that fabric. See, exactly. The monkeys, they're so cute. I don't know how I'm going to list that at. I haven't really decided, but I paid $9.50, so I'll probably list it somewhere at least $75 or more. This was a Deseret purchase and was $5.
They do have great prices.
This is a vintage 80s, I think it's handmade, little jumpsuit with like the top that ties like a halter neck with little watches, like swatch watches, sunglasses. It's funny. It's a little, I mean, it's itty bitty.
Little money clips
or paper clips. It's itty bitty. This is definitely like Ryan and Allie could fit in this. My daughter Allie could fit in this. Super tiny. It has a couple of spots, and it also looks like the blue fabric has run a little bit, although I'm not entirely sure if that's it or if it's an illusion.
Here's clear in the knot.
You can kind of see through it. Either way, all I'm going to do is throw this in a bleach bath, and I think it will. What are you going to do? You're going to throw it in a bleach bath with your bleach clothes. It's a little zip up the back and the elastic. It's so cute. So, yeah, I mean, I'll probably list that pretty high as long as I can bleach out the stain, which I think I can. I feel bad, but I'm also laughing. Why are you laughing?
Because she timed it. Well, the cat timed out Turtle. She should be back soon.
Also, probably came from the same person's closet. This also was at Deseret. This was $6. This is also a handmade, tiny little 1980s dress. It's just really, really cute. It's got these tiny little stripes. It's like peach and white, tiny little stripes with the long, like a border print with all the little pink and blue flowers. And it's partially boned at the bust. Like this is really well made. Actually, this one is not handmade because there's a tag inside.
There you go.
Really well made. It actually reminds me of Jessica McClintock. It's made in the USA. I'm going to check. It only has the care tag. I'm going to see by the RN number if it's a brand that's worth mentioning or not. Two more, and then I'll go to Katie. This is a vintage 80s or 90s, and this has no tag in it because the tag was cut out. And it was $7, which is kind of pricey for Deseret, which is kind of weird. But I definitely had stuff like this when I was in high school, which was the 90s. So it's like this cool little pattern, the buttons down the front, it's got a drop waist, and then the shorter skirt.
It is much more of a teal color, though. So
it's definitely teal with a little bit more green than our walls. I don't know what I'll list that for, but at least like 60-ish. And then again, this is another handmade. So I'm thinking, like I said, a lot of these are small. So I'm thinking that they were probably, came from the same person's closet. But this is a vintage handmade, super in style right now. This is for 80s or 70s and 90s, but it's definitely got that whole 90s grunge retro vibe. It's like a little, it's a skirt, but it has almost like the jumper top, but it doesn't, it's not a full like bib overall jumper. It would be like, this would go like under the boob. This is kind of where it would go, like under the boobs, not up to or over. And it's got these little buttons in the overalls, rear metal zipper with the clasp at the top, which is why I was saying, like, I think it's probably closer to 70s creation, even though it has like a more of a 90s vibe. Very trending, very on point right now as far as style that's out. Somebody wearing that with like a mock turtleneck or some type of ribbed top, whether even if it's a crop top or a ribbed long sleeve basic color top, some chunky boots, some tights. It's totally back end, which was very much what I was wearing in the 90s. And that's it. I'm out of breath. I'm done. That's what I have. That's good stuff this week.
Your hand is still bruised. Show them your injury when you're punching things.
I didn't punch anything. It's my left hand.
All of a sudden the other day, she's like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And it was like this crazy. It was like the vein.
I had a hematoma.
It was like the vein in her finger was like super purple and huge. And we were like, "Oh my God, should we have an allergic reaction to something?" By the next day, it had gone down. And the whole hand bruised up. So
this is like 5 days later.
It looked like somebody was like had to like try to give her an IV 20 times in a row and couldn't quite.
So you can see it's not swollen anymore, but it was like it had a bump like this. It was like I didn't even hit it. I must have hit it.
It was a sore when you push on it. As a feel
yes, but I must have hit it and not realized that I hit it and bruised around the knuckle.
But they were joking. She always talked about her my sciatica and my hematoma.
And I'm like, I have officially old lady creepy hands. I just told Katy, I'm like, that's it. It's downhill. You married me. Now I'm falling the frick apart.
Yeah. All right. So we went, like Ricky said, we went to a couple of thrift stores. Now, Deseret, listen, for the most part, for me, going to thrift stores is not exactly the best use of my time, but we were just going for fun. And I've found that with Deseret, I've usually am able to find maybe one kind of cool vintage piece that at least I'm excited about. Not that it's going to be like a $300 shirt or anything like that, but I usually can find one. So it's kind of fun trying to figure out where am I going to find it this time? Because sometimes I find it in the kids, sometimes I find it in the women's, sometimes I find it in the plus size section, and sometimes I find it in the men's. So there's always like a little treasure hunt. Well, this time I actually found a couple of things. I think I bought like 4 or 5 shirts at Deseret. Plus, their prices are
they're very good.
Of regular
thrift stores.
It's not like some random independent store. They have the best prices, like t-shirts. I mean, come on. So the first thing that I found, just in the men's t-shirt section, I was pretty excited about because first of all, the size. Look at how big this is,
and it's a light teal.
It's light teal,
like a little bit lighter than our walls, but same shade.
Yeah, light teal. It's in possibly dead stock. Although it doesn't have a tag, so somebody cut out the tag or whatever. But it says now when I grabbed this, I thought this had to do with nuclear testing that they used to do here in Vegas.
It doesn't.
No, it does not. So it says, "I survived the blast, Henderson, Nevada, May 4th, 1988."
Which is where they did nuclear testing, by the way.
Yeah. So, but I did use the Google machine. Okay.
Oh, that was when the pool something facility blew up.
Yeah, it was
pool chemicals.
Yeah, I don't know if it was pool chemicals or what it was, but it was a chemical plant. It exploded. It was like a big deal.
It was a pool bomb in American Pacific, where we used to live.
Okay, in 1988. But I love the size of this. This looks like it's probably a little bigger than a large. It might even be an XL, which is crazy for an 80s t-shirt. So no idea what I'll price this at.
The reason why I know that is it's right in our old neighborhood, and they built on top of it But also that was right where Melissa used to live when she lived here.
All right, cool. So that was like the first thing I found. I was super excited about. I found some other t-shirts. I was like, whatever. Then I go and again, when I'm at Deseret, she finds a lot of stuff there. So I usually really take my time and actually go through like all the polo shirts and the button-down shirts. I'm like, I never know what I'm gonna find. So I was looking at like where kind of the print shirts were, like Hawaiian stuff. And I saw this one and I'm like, oh, what is that? It's really cool. And I got closer to it and realized it's a Disney shirt. I think it's all rayon. Disney shirt. I looked it up, and this is from the Disney Cruise Line. Okay, this one I paid $6 for. It's a size 3XL. Okay, and I looked it up, and some of the prices are kind of all over the place. Some of the currently listed ones are priced a little more on the lower side, but they're all like mediums. And when I look at the ones that have sold in the past, the prices they've sold for, and the ones that are listed now, the larger sizes are priced up quite a bit more. So I feel pretty confident I should be able to get at least $100 for this. There's ones that are priced even more, but that's just ridiculous.
It's a 3X, Trish.
It's a 3X.
Who do you know that's going to wear that? Nobody.
Well, it's 3X and it's a Hawaiian shirt, which means it's probably more like a 4 or 5X because they tend to make they're supposed to be flowy. They're supposed to be oversized. So yeah, it's very big, but it's very soft. It's very nice and soft. So yeah, I should be able to sell it for at least 100. And when I showed this to Vicki, what'd you do? Did you pout a little bit?
I did pout a little bit because I usually go to the men's department in Deseret at the end too because she only looks at t-shirts.
So no, I look at everything.
I missed it by a couple of minutes.
I look at everything now. Okay, so then we went to Savers, and Savers I had no faith in because it's real hard to find anything good in the men's vintage. But I did actually find probably like 5 different things, but I grabbed a few to show you guys. First up, I have no idea what this band is. I paid $3.50. It's dead stock. It says California Brown Sound Mike Torres Band, and that's it. But it's dead stock. It's on a belt and tag. Single stitch.
Patricia, really even if you love Castaway Key, what are you going to do? Make Mickey ears out of it? It's not even durable material to make Mickey ears out of. Mickey ears or bags out of.
I'll sell it to you for $100. No problem.
Oh,
that's rude. What?
You would give her a discount.
It's a good. Okay.
We always discount for our friends.
$85. There you go.
Rude. She's rude.
I'm gonna make a living, man. Next up, this one is ridiculous. Again, $3.50. So this is in the lower price range because some of Savers t-shirts they price up like $8, $9. It's stupid. So the fact that I actually got a couple for $3.50 is great. This looks like it could.
See, Trish even says you're rude. I was only calling her Patricia because I was being serious, like like Victoria when I want to be taken seriously. I wasn't referring to you, Patty. I was referring to Trish as Patricia.
Okay, so
but she hates it in the same way that I hate.
This might be a dead stock too, or anyway, it's an all style tag, and the front says, "This is to me. This is really funny. Being growing up Christian." This is called Yahweh, like Yahweh. Yahweh.
That's a funny play on words,
right? Yahweh. I mean, look at the back. It
says the stigmata.
It says, "Talk to the hand and pray in the spirit on all occasions." Ephesians 6:18. Yahweh. So stupid. But I do all my Christian stuff. But the whole talk to the hand, I love all of the like Christian parody T-shirts, and it's so funny because when you go back to like whatever the catchphrases were of the time, you'll always end up finding some sort of Christian T-shirt with it. So the whole talk to the hand is funny to me. Anyway, I paid $3.50 for that one.
You'll sell that for at least $75 to $100.
Probably.
It's crazy to me. I never find Christian tees, and I look now. Especially in the last few years since they seem to have, been selling for so high. Kristen.
All right. Next up.
Happy New Year to you too, Kristen. I'm going to be out in Colorado. Sorry, I'm interrupting Katie. I'm going to be out in Colorado 2 weeks from now. So I was going to message you after the New Year's. This week, I'm going to send you a message so we can get together if you're in town.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. Dana, that might be when we need to go on our meat odyssey. Okay, the last thing I grabbed at Savers, I mean, I don't buy a lot of jackets anymore, but it was hard to pass up. It didn't have a price tag on it, but then I think she sold to me for like $8. Downside is it does say Mary embroidered right there.
There's a stitch ripper in the drawer right there.
I know, but it still leaves. It doesn't. You can still see it.
I have patches. You want to put a patch on it?
Maybe. Anyway, this is the American GI Forum, San Jose, old #1. But then it's got the really big back graphic.
Okay, let's not go crazy there, Liz. I don't need to find any focus on the family anything. I'll be burning that shit.
Oh man. Hey, I'd sell it. I'll take their money.
Ugh. Mary is slaying too. I mean, well, that's true.
I said Vicky's going to be gone. She's going to Colorado, and I said maybe that's when we could go on our meat odyssey. All right, next up. So I went to yesterday's fit a couple of times. I went the week before our wedding, the beginning of the week of our wedding, because I just knew that he was bringing a lot of stuff. Now, Jesse, you run into him every time you go to the bins because he has gotten back into thrifting, and so he's always out getting stuff. So I'm trying.
He's at the bins when they open, and he's gone by 9.
I'm trying to make sure I'm going in there regularly to get some of the cool stuff that he finds, whatever. Anyway, so I gone a couple of times, and I got a few pieces here that I really dig. I love, how I like my nature tees, but this one's really cool. I like the graphic on this.
It looks like a Harley.
Yeah, it's the black bear, and it's got the cool Native American stuff wrapped around the side there,
like all the symbols.
Yeah, I think I paid like $15 for this. It's nice and soft. I love it. I think I have this listed for like $70.
Or Jesse and Austin, they were supposed to come to our wedding too, and they both got so sick right before. They're like, we don't want to get other people sick, which I'm grateful. We had some friends that were sick that were there, like head colds and stuff. Like my best friend was so sick, poor thing. He got so sick the day he flew in. The day he flew home, he was feeling fine.
Check out this Goosebumps shirt. You paid like $25 for this, but what's cool,
I love that one.
It's actually like an adult size. It's not a kid size. $19.95 parachute vest. It's with the Goosebumps tag, and it's nice XL. Nice and clean, so fresh, so clean. Love it. Love the graphic. I think I have this listed for like $150 or something like that.
Yeah, Turtle. Our bins are open 8 to 4, 7 days a week here. Although I've never been on the Sunday.
And then before I get into my BMX haul, I was really excited when I saw it. Since I'm from Oregon and I played basketball all through middle school, I was on the girls' basketball team. We were undefeated for 2 years straight, never lost a game.
I played basketball.
Okay, but were you?
No, I was terrible.
Did you start?
I was terrible. Yes, I was a starter. Yes, I was a starter
of an undefeated team.
No, I was a starter for an awful CYO team.
Okay,
but I was still a starter.
No, we were undefeated. I have my championship jacket to prove it.
I was a guard.
Anyway, but this was all in the early 90s, which if you know anything about the NBA or particularly in Oregon, Portland Trailblazers were hot in the early 90s, especially through the 90s. Portland Trailblazers, Clyde the Glide. I mean, it was just so. When I saw this, and the Rip City was like the tagline, call it Rip City. Totally hot, Portland Trailblazers, 1990. Look at this sweatshirt. I love it. I saw it and I'm like, I have to have it. Like, I cannot leave the store without this sweatshirt. And the reality is, there's not. When I went and looked at like comps and stuff like that, there's not a lot of like Trailblazers sweatshirts at all. And because everything's like Lakers and Bulls and stuff like that, there's hardly anything. And this is kind of a unique design. Like, it's not like your typical NBA shirt design. So I bought this. I paid I think I only paid like $25-$30 for it, and I've already got listed for $200.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Hey Barry, 5-day flipper in the house.
Yeah, Barry. I mean, come on, check out this sweatshirt. How cool is this? Rip City, Portland Trailblazers. Anyway, I had to have it because, like I said, I have a close connection to the Trailblazers at that particular time in history. And Rip City, it was all about the Rip City. They even had their own single on the radio, Rip City song. So,
what time is it?
You told me.
I'm just checking to see how many more you have to do.
It's 3:24. You told me we could have a 2-hour show, show today, and you wouldn't care.
I don't care.
So I'm going to enjoy showing the rest of these shirts. Guys, okay. So Jesse calls me up. Or he probably just texted me, but he calls me up. Sometimes he calls. He's a young person who actually does use the phone.
He does.
Tells me he just got shirts that he knows I'm going to be into, that he specifically bought for me. And so he's telling me about how this guy comes in. This guy had like just been at like some yard sales and stuff. And I think he brought in like a bunch of San Diego Chargers t-shirts. And then he was like talking about how like, oh yeah, they used to own a BMX shop in San Diego, so they had all these BMX t-shirts too. And Jesse's like, well, where are those at? And the guy's like, oh, they're out in the car. I didn't think you'd be interested in them. And Jesse was like, well, I'm not really, but I know somebody who would be. And so he bought all these BMX t-shirts, and basically I got to go in and just sit there and like grab BMX t-shirt after BMX t-shirt. And I was like telling him all about how like I vividly still remember I had a dream I had when I was 5 years old, and I got a BMX bike, and I couldn't wait to go show it to Sean Blades up the street because he had a BMX bike and we were buddies, and I wanted to show it to him. And then my 6th birthday, I actually got my first BMX bike, and it was like the best thing ever. It was awesome. It was rad. Like movie rad.
Okay.
About BMX bike. No,
I'm aware of.
I got 35
I'm aware of what the movie Rad is about. I've seen it.
Anyway, so I literally got like 16 BMX t-shirts. As you know, I sold that one that I already showed. I sold that one for $75. I think he basically just charged me so like he doubled his money. Like he made like $5 to $10 on each one that he bought, because he literally bought them just knowing that I was going to take them. And he wasn't going to have to do anything with them. All right, so these ones are a little mild, but they still have like the little BMX dude on them. Sundancer BMX. This is on the Stedman tag from the 80s. Stitch, so nothing crazy.
But they're all in really nice shape. Like, that's a nice shape.
Yeah, there were like a couple that had some staining, but and whatnot.
I know Trish wants to know, did you get a Rad movie tee? No,
but I have the 4K Blu-ray with the lenticular cover. Rad.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
This is the same one, only it's hard to tell over the camera. It's gold. Can you see?
No.
You can see it's kind of shiny.
Oh yeah, shiny.
It's gold. Anyway, same thing. Again, not the most exciting graphic, but still a cool shirt. All right. Okay, let's go. Next up, most of these are 90s, but there's a couple 80s ones. This one's 1990 Fall Nationals in Los Angeles, California. That's the back yet. And then you can see the front there. Seriously, what a great graphic right there. Love it.
So you're on a bike, and the word fall is in huge letters on both the front and the back.
It's a Fall National. Okay.
They basically just want you to fall and break shit because it makes better witness watching. I don't know.
This is the 1998 Great Salt Lake Nationals in Salt Lake City. This one's all right. But what's cool about this one is, guys, it's No Fear shirt. Yeah, it's No Fear. This is actually a No Fear shirt, which I always think is a No Fear shirt. This one's a little bit different. It's like a No Fear sponsored event.
I know, right, Barry? I wonder if he asked that question.
What?
Jesse didn't ask the dude if he still had old BMX bikes he would sell. I'm going to take a few points off his resume.
Well, Jesse wasn't the one picking it.
And yes, Cheryl, I did get the candles. Thank you so much. I love them. I'm in search now of a hurricane copper third candle. But yes, I love them.
Barry, Jesse wasn't the one picking. The guy brought in the stuff, the one that had bought it. So I don't know if he asked that question though. He should have. Let's see, 1990. This is the Oklahoma City Grands. Look at that. That's a great graphic too. I love this. This lime green color is so like late 80s, early 90s.
It's super vibrant with all the neons in the back too.
It's just crazy. Like, yeah, love it. Love it. Seriously. All these shirts are so great. It made me so happy because I'm always excited when I find anything at skateboarding or BMX. And it's very rare. And so to all of a sudden have 16 of them, I get a little excited, you guys. This is Airwalk. This is the
also
California
neon,
Nationals.
super bright neon.
Yeah, it's like a really heavy print too.
I'd be shocked if this one doesn't glow in the dark.
I don't think it does. Sorry to tell you. I don't think
Rude.
it does. Next up, I've got the Race the Rock. This is 1989 Race of Champions. This one does have like a little stain on the front of it. You can see that spot there, but
it looks like your one that said R and C, and you said your shirt that said R and C, and you couldn't figure out.
No, that was R and C. This is.
It looked like the same graphics.
I get what you're saying, but
maybe it was
not. It's not the same. Next up, we have the Rio Silver Dollar
1993 Circus.
1993. So you got the clown, the creepy clown, but then you got your little BMXers hanging out up there on the top.
Well, that's not a creepy clown. That's weird.
All
right. All clowns are creepy.
Yes, they are creepy. Oh, sorry. Yes, they are. All
rude.
All.
She's so rude.
All.
See what happens when you get married, guys? I don't know.
Yeah, it never happened before. That's for sure. Next up, here's another 89 one. 1989 U.S. Gold Cup Qualifier Championships, Las Vegas. It's got some stains on it as well, but still super cool graphic. Sunday BMX, Las Vegas, Nevada. Seriously, guys, we're going to be here all day, and I love it. All right, this one is quick. Get your hands off.
I was counting.
BMX Racing 1991 State Championships. Also a great graphic. Pretty simple. Nothing on the back. But seriously, this was the best thing ever.
Cheryl was just saying you're fighting less. We have been fighting less, actually. I feel like Katie took a marriage instruction course or something. I don't know.
Gold Cup Qualifier, San Manuel, Arizona. This one's like a 90s one.
Hi, Liz. I will see you in person in less than 2 weeks.
Liz doesn't care about my BMX. This is San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium Super Track 7-Up RC Cola. Right there. Cool graphic on the back. Love it. Very thin and soft.
And then I get to see Diane and Trish in 6 weeks.
This one's very, very soft. And it is an 80s one. And look how dope. This one's 1986. Hutch. Hutch Super Nationals, 1986. How cool. I love the design on this one. It's great.
The back has a pretty cool graphic too.
Yeah. It's a very, very cool shirt. I have this guy who's willing to pay. I have this price at 100. You want to pay me 60? And I said 75 is my absolute lowest number. And he's like, well, 60 is what I have. And I'm like, 75 is my absolute lowest number. And he's like, well, I have 60, so I'll wait. And I'm like, have fun with that. Like, literally.
I don't know what you think you're going to wait for. Get more money.
I don't know.
I guess I'll wait until you get more money together.
This one's cool. It's Vans, Winter Nationals.
So ADA, I mean, ADA is the American. It's also the American Burn Association, so that's why it's weird for me to see that.
Anyway, this one is from 1991. Almost done, guys. I think I got one more left.
That's what it is, Barry. She doesn't want to lose half. I don't know. I got more to lose if she leaves my ass, actually, because I got to give her half.
It's true.
Have you seen my Christmas collection? I mean, it's quite valuable.
All right, the last one, 1990 Winter Nationals. The back is the best part. There you go. But seriously, I love. They got all these shirts, and this is what building relationships with people does for you. Jesse knew to ask the questions, and he knew that I was going to be excited to see those shirts, and so he grabbed them. Whereas normally he might not have. He said there were probably a couple that he would have grabbed anyway, but got all of them because of me. Yep, I want every single one of them.
So yeah, we actually did not have a super long show. It's only 3:30. That's average for us, a 90-minute show, and a lot of talking. Oh, funny story. Katie needs to tell you this funny story.
Oh, she's gonna make me tell my story. Okay.
We're gonna end this on a funny story from the wedding.
Here's the thing: like sometimes I say stuff to try to get Vicky to laugh, and she just rolls her eyes. And then every once in a while, I hit gold, And she really likes the story. And now she won't stop talking about the story. And she's literally reminded me 10 times to tell the story.
And you almost forgot.
And I feel like I don't know if I'm going to do it justice because I feel like I have a lot to live up to.
I think you need to stand up while you're telling the story.
No, I will tell the story how I want to tell the story. Okay, you can't recreate magic, so I can only do my best to properly represent the story. Anyway, so getting dressed for the wedding. So ladies, maybe not all of you, obviously, but some of you know about the shapewear, okay, or the Spanx or whatever. So Vikki, you had
about the shapewear in general.
Yeah,
you know about
shapewear.
Not just some. I would say most
people know it exists, and most dudes probably know it exists as well. Anyway, so I had never worn it before, but for wearing my suit and everything, I wanted to wear one of her shapewear, like a full body thing. It's like shorts, and it goes up to like a little tank top type thing. It basically just squishes you all in. Because
it flattens out the lumps and bumps, right, ladies? We know what it does.
I just wanted, because I had a vest I was wearing. I just didn't want to have any kind of muffin top action going on. Because sometimes I got muffin top action, and I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But I wanted to look good on my wedding day in my suit. Okay, so I've got this shapewear that she lets me use, right? And it's quite the challenge to get into it, and it really does squish everything in. But it makes
we all know the challenge of getting into shapewear, right? All right, at least the women. I know we have a handful of men in the chat, but the struggle of getting into shapewear is real.
Yeah, but this was a very special day, and I wanted to look good, and I didn't want to have any muffin top going on. And I wanted to look good in the suit, okay? And the suit was, it fit me well, but I knew it would look even better if I did the shapewear. So wearing the shapewear, right? Here's the thing about shapewear. You can't wear underwear because it's a full body one.
You can't get it up and down.
Right, it's a full body one, so it goes over your shoulders. So it's like if you have to go to the bathroom, depending on how long you're going to be in it, it's like you have to be able to go to the bathroom. So you can't wear any underwear, and then it's got like a slit, right? Do you want me to tell the story?
I was just going to expand on the whole slit. So, like when a woman is wearing a bathing suit, you got to kind of move it over
to the hole to be able to go to the bathroom, whatever. But it's just a slit. Now, let me tell you, it's not, as is, a slit just doesn't cut it. All right, guys? Like when you're wearing a bathing suit, you can pull it to the side, but you can actually pull the whole thing to the side. Like you have a lot of room. Mm-hmm. With this, it's like a little slit. And then on top of that, it's shapewear, so it's squishing you all together. All right, you're getting squished. All of your fat, everything's getting all squished. So I finally have to go pee for the first time. Now, mind you, our wedding was at 3:00. Mm-hmm. So I had to put this on at probably about 2:00, and then I was going to be wearing it all the way. Basically, I wore it for 12 hours straight because we had our reception and everything. And by the time we actually went to bed, it was like 2 a.m. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pee at some point. Well, so the first
unless you're me, because I didn't pee once.
Yeah. So I was able to hold off until we got home, and I think the party had just started, was about to start, and I'm like, I have to pee. Well, the problem is, so I sit down, and it's like the little slit there. The problem is, like I said, everything's all squished. Okay, and I don't know people, but if you understand anatomy and how things work, if let's say you're taking a garden hose. Yeah, not to have those, but I'm just trying to say source of water, let's say. Source of water. And you put a bit of stuff around it, the water's gonna spray everywhere. All right. So I realized if this was not gonna, there's no way I couldn't even get started because I was so squishy. And then I'm like, once I pee, I'm gonna pee all over the place. There happened to be a box knife sitting on because I think I'd used it like earlier the week on the grout or whatever about the shower. There's a box knife. I literally sawed my way out of this. I didn't take it off. I basically sawed the whole crotch off of the shapewear.
With a box knife. She's hacking away in the nether regions.
I was careful.
With a box knife.
But I had to like saw it because it's pretty thick material because it's like the shapewear, right? So I basically sawed it. So instead of having like just a split, it was like the whole crotch was gone. Okay, but let me tell you, I needed it. All right. Otherwise, I was gonna pee all over my fancy tuxedo pants, and I'd have to be in piss pants all night. All right.
She had to hack her way
out, and I'm like, listen, I hope this is
such a girly girl. Such a girly girl wears shapewear for the first time and has to hack her way out with a box knife. Okay.
So when I asked her, I'm like, I hope this doesn't cost a lot because I'm gonna have to buy you new ones. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I told her the story. But Listen, nobody can pee it. Like, there's no way. There's no way anybody can pee in that. It's not possible.
I'm thinking Patty needs to show this to her son, who is a professional drag performer, because he's got to understand the not having to pee or not being able to pee just because of the whole tuck thing.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
They have to all be like dehydrated.
It's got to be even worse. I'm assuming the whole tape and tuck thing. It's not possible. They just don't ever drink. No liquids going through the body ever.
Yep. Anyway, that's my story.
And thank God. The funny thing was like Danica comes up to me at the end of the night. And Danica was a little toasty. I think we all were. She was one of the last people to leave. At the end of the night, we're a little toasty, and Danica's like, "I didn't even help you pee. I didn't help you. I was supposed to help you with your dress." I'm like,
"How did you pee?"
I didn't. From the time I put my dress on at 2:00 until the time we went to bed at 2:00 in the morning, I didn't pee once. I don't know how. I just didn't.
Anyway, it was I don't know if if I ever have to wear
she's not going to revisit the shapewear.
I mean, I would, but I think I'd start out like cutting out the whole crotch, because seriously, I'm
going to tell you that this was a censored version that she shared with you.
I'm just saying, you can't pee with your labia smashed together. All right, it's not going to work. It's going to spray everywhere. If you can even get started.
Was when she first told the story, it was a little bit more explicit, and it was funny. This is still funny.
She said it's not funny this time?
No, it's still funny. Yeah, shapewear is god awful, but
it works great. I just need to be able to pee, man.
There's a reason for it, but once it's on, it actually feels good. It's the getting it on and having to pee in it is awful. Once it's on, everything kind of feels good when it's all squished together.
But like all night.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need a cuddle buddy, but it's like it makes me feel comforted.
All right. That's going to be enough for our show. We got to go get ready for bowling.
We're going bowling.
I have my own bowling shoes, not because I'm obsessed with bowling, but because I got them at a thrift store, and
they were new.
Yeah, they were new, and I'm like, I'm not sell them for anything crazy. So I just hang on to them. And every time we go bowling, I save a little money. Save a little money.
So thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you also for all the nice comments and the messages we've gotten over the last couple weeks, with our wedding, and those of you that watched the wedding, and those of you that didn't want to watch it, it is linked below. It is our previous video. We did link the wedding ceremony so that you can watch it and share in that with us.
Yep.
And everybody that did and contributed to our honeymoon fund or sent a card or a text message. I mean, honestly, the response and the kindness that you all showed and reached out with was overwhelming. Very much appreciated, and we absolutely felt the love, and we do feel the love. So thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, you ready to bowl? We're ready to go bowling with me.
Okay, we'll see.
Bye.